move around a little bit, but whatever you do, don't hit that camera. And then I'll tell you a little story about that after we're done. All right?
All right.
All right. Let me see. 1, 4, 2, 3. And on.
Look, Mark, he's got a fish on his wall.
Yeah. Does it talk?
It's dead.
I thought it might start singing Down by the River or something.
And welcome back, everyone. I have two very special guests. All my guests are special, but these two are really special. First of all, it's Mark Sankey on your left. He is the director of media and marketing for the Mescal Movie Set.
Yes, sir.
All right. Did I say that right?
You said it right. You're getting very good at this.
All right. And Craig Hensley, who's a professional actor, and the two of you are working collaboratively, I know, on some projects for the Mescal Movie Set. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm going to have each of you give me a little rundown, not a complete bio because we only have 45 minutes or so, but, just real quick. Mark, give us a little bit of your background, how you ended up at Mescal.
Yeah, it was unexpected. People say, what did you do in your career? I always say it depends on which decade. First 2 decades, I worked for large companies in the pharmaceutical industry.
Well, you were a drug dealer.
No, I sold more medical supplies. Never did the drugs.
So bongs?
No.
Don't go any further.
Oh, boy.
I'm not going to let you crawl out of that hole. Okay, so pharmaceuticals.
And then after a couple mergers, I got tired of that, joined my brother and did publishing for about 10 years.
Okay.
And after he had a bright idea of buying a wholesale screen print embroidery company, and I did that for 10 years. We sold to businesses, and for fun, I retired and got a job at Old Tucson.
Oh, that's right. You were at Old Tucson for a while, and from there to the Mescal Movie Set.
Then I drifted down to Mescal. So,
and how's that working out? I need to point out to folks that Mark was my very first podcast about a year ago, and he was sitting there where Craig Hensley is sitting, and his phone went off. He forgot to silence it, and he jumped up and ran and actually tried to get out of his chair wearing the headsets. Of course, caused about $3,000 worth of damage. But that's okay.
My phone is in the other room and off today.
Good.
All right.
So how's it working out?
It's working well. I mean, we'd love to have the big budget pictures come back in and such, but they're not being made.
Well, you're getting some good movie productions.
But we are staying active. We're averaging around a dozen paid productions a year. And
well, that's good.
Yeah, we're staying busy, and we've done some recent music videos and commercials and feature films and shorts. So we're getting a variety of different types of filming coming in.
Well, after we get Craig's bit of a bio, then we'll come back and we'll talk about what you want to do in terms of corporate, I guess, outreach, that kind of thing.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Mr. Hensley, a little bit about you, your bio, your background, and you are a professional actor.
Yes, and that all started when I saw a certain guy named Jeff Oldfather, my brother, perform Professor
that was my
Harold
line.
Hill, Professor Harold Hill in The Music Man right here in Benson.
In high school.
In high school, and I thought, oh man, that's what I want to do. I want to
really?
do that. Yeah, you were brilliant. You were brilliant. Gotcha.
I wasn't brilliant. I had a lot of fun. I was going to say,
made him speechless.
Well, I was going to say I can remember those days, but it's getting harder and harder.
Same here. Oh,
so
no,
you've been in.
I saw you do that, and I thought, oh, that's what I want to do. And our high school drama teacher, Steve Halper,
great guy.
Great guy. He encouraged me, and then I wound up in Tucson doing community theater for a really, really good Southern Arizona Light Opera company.
Yep.
At Tucson Music Center, and from there I kind of segued into union membership, wound up doing stage all across the country, wound up in New York.
New York, yeah. You did Off-Broadway or Off-Broadway.
Off-Broadway, did some Paper Mill Playhouse, some Shakespeare and Company, really, really good companies. L.A., film work, back and forth across the country. And
you've been in many dozens of movies.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and a lot of stage productions. Did the first and second national of Les Miserables as Enjolras.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that was a kick. So at one point living in L.A., and as you know, came back here to take care of some family stuff and realized I didn't want to go back to L.A. And
Who
I knew-
would?
Yeah, well, at that point, right. So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Arizona, southeast Arizona, wide open skies, Mescal. So when I came back, I knew that I was giving up a certain amount of work in that market, but I also knew that there was, at that time, some film work in Arizona.
And
it's-
that's one of the things that we want to talk about is
yes.
the ebb and flow of that
Yes,
film work and whether or
exactly.
not the tax cuts have made any difference
Yeah.
or not. But so you've worked with a lot of A-list actors.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of the guy's name. He was in Homestead.
Neil McDonough?
Yes.
You're thinking of, yeah.
Yes.
Well, that was up at Mescal.
Right.
with,
That's why I bring it up. Great actor.
Oh, great guy, nice guy, really good actor. It's always really satisfying to see the people at the top of their game doing their work right there, just right next to the guy watching him. Just so, and then cut, and then he's just normal guy. So yeah, that was with INSP Films Productions that came in twice, Mark?
Yeah. Well, they were actually in Southern Arizona 3 times.
But and up at Mescal twice.
Yeah.
People don't realize the width and breadth of the film industry here. And really, you say you're doing about 12 a year, 12 a year, but that's pretty impressive. And it just touches all corners of our economy. We'll get to that in a minute. But Craig, I do want to ask, you did a documentary on Wyatt Earp, didn't you?
I did a stage show that
Stage
I wrote.
show.
Yeah, that I wrote about Wyatt Earp. His last words on his deathbed were, suppose. You could go so many different ways with that.
That's why I did it.
Yeah, and I did my take on what he might have meant by that, and did wrote and performed for quite a while a one-man show called Wyatt Last Words, and it got a really good reception.
Well, good.
Yeah.
And you were also in the OK Corral, I don't know, what do you call it, troupe or?
Oh, that was a long time ago. Yeah, I did.
Wait, not that long ago.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
I like things just a couple years, but time flies.
Yeah,
but
that was part of the troupe, the performing troupe out there. Yeah.
So you played in the OK Corral gunfight.
Yeah, that was fun.
Oh, I know. I don't know how many times I took people to watch you, and
yeah.
I've got a question for you. It's pretty factually staged, right?
Pretty what? Factually
In other words,
staged?
the way it's staged, the shootout is based pretty close to the way it really happened.
Correct, based on eyewitness accounts, archival evidence, and of course, there's a mountain of material that can be gone through. But even today, documents are coming to light that may change a little bit of this or that. But the documentation of what actually the spacing and who was where and whatnot and who died where, that was, that was documented the next day.
Yeah, the movie Tombstone that everyone's so familiar with, the actual shootout scene, how accurate is that?
It's pretty accurate.
Yeah,
pretty close.
I've been told it's almost verbatim.
Yeah, the words, again, this is off of eyewitness testimony. And of course, with eyewitness testimony, you got 5 eyewitnesses, you get 5 slightly varying accounts.
Right.
But
you parse through all of those and you get a pretty good picture of what
exactly.
happened.
The general consensus amongst people who want to be historians or consider themselves historians, and some of the actual historians, is that, that's pretty accurate.
So playing Wyatt Earp and having that persona, I would assume you're fascinated by the guy. Maybe not.
By the whole story. There's because before I did that, of course, I'd seen the movie, and huge fan, because as a movie, it's brilliant.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
it is.
But then to get into the history of Tombstone, the whole story, the whole broad political spectrum that was going on in Tombstone. The nation had eyes on Tombstone.
Mm-hmm.
There was an almost international incident with Mexico over the raids that the cowboys were doing down in Mexico. So my point is, Wyatt, fascinating, sure. The whole story,
More so.
you couldn't write this stuff.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. It's endless history out there.
Well, I'm going to turn my attention to Mark because Mark, wasn't a lot of that movie shot at Mescal?
60%.
60%. That's kind of hard to believe.
Yeah.
I mean, people just aren't aware of that.
Yeah, I mean, 20% at Old Tucson and 60% at Mescal, and then 20% in the surrounding area.
Give me a scene that someone might remember easily that was shot at Mescal.
When they arrive into the town of Tombstone,
Yeah.
and they come around the corner and go down the street and stop in front of the hotel. Wyatt's house, Virgil's house was there. The Oriental, all the scenes inside the Oriental was inside the building built for that production at the set. The OK Corral was there.
A lot of A-list actors have been there, but another one was Clint Eastwood. Can you tell us some of the movies that he did there?
He was on set twice. He was on set way back when Rawhide, very second episode of Rawhide, filmed a cattle drive scene through Mescal before the buildings were built.
Oh, okay.
And that episode ended up at San Javier Mission, in the back end of San Javier Mission.
Right.
And then he came back for Outlaw Josie Wales. And
Which I love that movie.
and
great.
So they actually, for that movie, it was only about 15 minutes of that movie that was on screen filmed at Mescal, and that was a scene around the mercantile store. In fact, the mercantile store at the set was built for Outlaw Josie Wales and is still standing and such. And that's the scene where he goes, buys the supplies, goes across the street, runs into those four Yankees and says that famous line, "Are you going to pull those pistols or whistle Dixie?"
Yeah.
Boom, 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 jumps on his horse and runs down the driveway of Mescal. So
Very cool. Oh man, it escaped me, but I was going to ask, it'll come back to me. Been a lot of A-list actors, like I said. So give me a brief history, Mark, of the downside or the downturn that the Mescal Movie Set took until the revival began a couple of years ago.
Well, the downside occurred with the introduction of incentives and such. And for a short period, Arizona had incentives in the late 90s, but they weren't very well put together.
When we're talking about incentives, we're talking about things like tax breaks and et cetera to track the productions.
Right. You spend so much money in the state, and the state will give you a part of that money back. It's like a rebate.
Right.
You go into Ace Hardware, you buy a gallon of paint, and they give you a $2 rebate. Same concept. So as Arizona got rid of their incentive, other states such as New Mexico came in with very aggressive incentives. And it got to the point for the first 20 years of this century that productions were leaving California and driving through Arizona or flying over Arizona and filming in New Mexico. New Mexico, with the support of their governor and such, built almost $1 billion industry there. Netflix, Amazon all came in and built studios and sound stages. And we just sort of went from one of the top film destinations and also ran for 20 years.
Well, Craig, I see you nodding your head. You knew all that was going on.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it was awful. It was just awful. I mean, it was unnecessary.
So you had to go elsewhere to keep working, right?
Well, I was already elsewhere working when this was, no pun intended, going down. But it for the longest time, I didn't consider coming back to the area because everybody was leaving. Production was leaving and not coming in. So why would I come back? When I did come back, it was despite that downturn and to be back in Arizona, knowing that I would be giving up a lot of work. And
but you knew you'd be on my podcast eventually, so.
Which is why I'm here.
Yes. Yeah.
After all this time.
So, Mark, how long did that? Let's call them the Troubles. How long did the Troubles last?
You say basically 2 decades.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
For 20 years. I mean, there were films done here, and films still done in Arizona, but not like it was in the Bob Shelton era of Old Tucson.
Well, wasn't the Mescal Movie Set going to be torn down?
Yeah, it's on state land on a film lease. And so when Old Tucson, who had the lease at that time when COVID hit, When they closed down, according to the state lease, if you're no longer actively filming, you had to return it to its natural state, meaning all those buildings would be bulldozed down and all that would be hauled off.
So what happened to turn that around?
The Karshner stepped in. They found out that was going to be destroyed. They recognized the value of the set. They came in one meeting, no real business plan, and they took over the lease and decided to keep it a film set, not turn it into a theme park or amusement park, but they wanted to, essentially our mission statement is to promote Western history and Western culture through film and film-related events.
So, Craig, you've done productions there. How much fun or how well does that work for productions? Mescal Movie Set.
It's brilliant. It's so shootable. It's so iconic. The history
So
there.
that's the word I was looking for. Shootable. What makes it shootable?
The size and
Besides you.
yeah, well, you beat me to it. You beat me to it. The size, the scale of it, for one, it's larger than life, but it's accurate to what I mean. These boom towns, they had money, and they had to put up a big facade so that you would, as a drunken cowboy or miner, say, "Oh, I like the looks of that building." Let me go
I
give
asked
them
you
my
to
money."
show up here sober. Obviously, you ignored that.
Yeah, this is method acting. No, it was accurately built with the I'll tell a little story on our Uncle Bob, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah,
I
he
was
was a
going to bring
house-
that up, but I'm glad you did.
Well, he was a housing contractor.
Robert Oldfather.
Robert Oldfather, housing contractor in Tucson, and worked on a lot of the building at Old Tucson, worked on building the soundstage, the Adobe Village, and he also built several of those larger buildings at Mescal that are still standing to this day because he was a housing contractor. He didn't build sets; he built the buildings.
He
to
built,
last.
yeah.
So that's you asked me the fun of Mescal. Of course, I have that connection.
Well, tell us about the Finding the Sardine
Oh,
Can.
the sardines!
Because he loves sardines.
Yeah, I did my first film ever in 1981, and that was at Mescal. And the crew came to me and said, "Hey, did you know Bobby Oldfather?" Because he had passed away in '79. I said, "Yeah, that was my uncle." And he said, "Well, we loved the guy. Go look around the back of the buildings. He would finish his sardines for lunch. When he finished a building, he'd scratch his initials into the sardine can, nail it to the back of the building as his signature."
And you found some.
I found two of them, yeah. I left one and I took one. That was fun.
That's very cool.
And that movie, by the way, was so bad it was picked up by Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I'm very proud of that.
Not Toss the Revenge.
The Reflection.
The Reflection.
Yeah, look it up. It's horrible. It's so fun.
Your head was cut off.
Oh, it was terrible.
Actually, that was the best thing.
It was the best part of the movie. Look.
That's all right. You got to start somewhere.
But Mescal is where I started, and I love working there. They are so lucky to have Mark there, and I'm not saying this just because he's sitting next to me and can reach me if I say something bad. Lucky to have Mark. I'm so grateful to the Karchners for stepping in because that would have been horrible to lose Mescal and lose those buildings. So shootable production companies that come out there, they love it. The scale, okay?
Yeah.
The scale, the variety, lots of, and now, thanks to Mark and his crew, it's got the amenities that it didn't have. That look, Old Tucson had electricity and bathrooms and makeup room and whatnot. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful. But Mescal is unique in that it's got all that space around it. And it's that iconic Rincon Mountains in the background. But it didn't have, until the amenities. Now it's got the bathrooms and it's got the makeup room, and it's on its way up. And now it's even more shootable and more attractive to production companies.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm going to go a little bit more into the production and the economics of it.
Yeah.
What I was going to say was, didn't Sharon Stone have the bar building, the whatever it's called, saloon built just for the quick and the dead?
Yeah, the Redemption Saloon.
Tell us a
was
little
built
bit about
for
and the young actor.
Leonardo.
Yeah,
DiCaprio.
she kind of mentored him and got him that part.
Yeah, they came in right after Tombstone was filming. In fact, I've heard that Tombstone ran past its contract time and got into some of the shoot time for Quick and the Dead. And so there was a battle between the two productions. And so I've been told that there were days where the Tombstone was filming for 12 hours, and when they got off set, the set dressers would go in and tackle a building that was going to no longer be in the film Tombstone, that they can go in and dress that building. So I've been told that both productions were on set at the same time.
Crazy.
But that Redemption Saloon was a main part, a main feature of that film. So they built a very nice saloon. It's been very popular today. A lot of productions will come in and maybe just shoot for a day or two in the saloon because it just has that Western look.
Well,
and Western feel.
Isn't it? It's a complete building more so than just facade.
Yeah, it's 3 stories. Basically 3 stories. I mean, you got your ground floor, you got your landing, and a lot of people don't realize that the top floor is filmable. We do have a large room in there that looks like an office or parlor or something like that. So according to the engineering spec, there's over 5,000 square feet in that.
So would the two of you say that what we're seeing is a resurgence, long way to go, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how far along that resurgence are we? Either one of you.
Resurgence of the set?
Yeah, the resurgence of the industry and Mescal Movie Set as a part of that industry.
It's a complicated answer.
Yeah, I'll let you speak for Mescal as a set. I will say that I think Mescal is much further along the resurgence scale than the industry, but I'll let you address that. The industry, the film industry is in a sea change.
Streaming and so many outlets and
streaming, AI. By
the way, full disclosure, you are an AI figure, right?
Yes, and I'm having a glitch right now.
No, it's amazing. The AI, it's good and bad. I haven't yet figured out where I fall on that, but I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, that's right. It's here. It is what it is, for good or bad, and there's a lot of good to it. There's certainly some downsides. The point is, though, you asked about where, on a scale of 1 to 10, the resurgence of the industry. There's not a resurgence of the industry going on. There is a change in the industry, and it's changing the business model completely, from the big studio productions to now, like you said, the streaming, the digital platforms. There's a lot of production going on, but in general, it's lower budget, partly because of AI. It's much more dispersed than it ever used to be. It's no longer centered in any one area. There are hotspots like New Mexico because of their incentives. We can become a hotspot because of our location.
What I would call a traditional film, one that doesn't rely, so much on the animated graphics like Star Wars or whatever, but a traditional Western that might have some AI. What percentage of that film might be AI generated and the rest traditional, what we think of as movie production?
There's still plenty of room for production to be predominantly live action, 90% live action, and
thank goodness.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because
well, let me ask you both. AI is totally amazing. I've seen AI misused politically, where you cannot tell that AI persona from the real thing. That's not happening yet in the movies, is it?
Actually, yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, unfortunately, there's some legal wrangles over use. They're getting resolved now because they have to be resolved. But there were some companies, generating AI celebrities who were dead and using their likeness without permission.
Okay.
Now there's some that are doing it with permission. Carrie Fisher in the whatever the last
Star Wars
that she was in. That was she was dead, but they AI'd her with permission for a very brief scene. You can tell it's AI, but it's pretty darn good. And that was however many years ago. So they could probably do it now to where you'd say, dang, well, I thought Carrie Fisher was dead. So with permission, okay, I mean, that's one thing. Without permission, no.
Well, attribution in the credits or somewhere it has to say that.
It better?
Yeah.
Well, attribution is not necessarily permission. I could steal your...
No, I know, but with permission and attribution.
Yeah, with permission and attribution.
Mark, you're chomping at the bit. You want to say something?
Well, and not only does it really affect the actors and use of the actors' images, it also affects the set, because somebody can get a drone, come down, and they can film the streets, they can film the surrounding areas, they can go into buildings, and then use that film with AI within a movie. Well, how do we protect ourselves with that? How do we?
You shoot the drone down.
And that is a lot of fun, by the way. Yeah. Make sure you ask us before you bring your drone. We've never done that. But so it's looking into how do we license that and how do we protect ourselves?
By the way, full disclosure, you cannot, believe it or not, the airspace from the ground up is considered public airspace. So somebody can fly a drone over your home or your property or whatever. They don't need permission. Are you aware of that?
No, wasn't aware of that.
They don't need
Public airspace over our home.
From the surface of the ground on up. But I love this story. This guy, this young guy, I think it was in Minnesota, was flying his drone over his neighbor's house to get pictures of his daughter sunbathing. And he went out with a shotgun and shot the drone down. And when the kid came over to get his drone, he brought the cops, and they could have arrested him. They didn't do anything. They took the junk, gave it back to the kid, and said, "Here,
here's your pictures of the neighbor's daughter."
Yeah.
Oh my Lord!
But legally, he could not be stopped from doing that. Believe it or not. All right, so I digress. Let's talk a little bit more about the economics of the movie business and specifically Mescal Movie Set. You guys are trying to expand your reach into corporate, I guess, areas. What are you doing?
Well, we expanding our reach in several different areas, but one of the conversations we're having with Craig and other industry people is creating immersion events, corporate immersion events, where companies come out and create an event where they can maybe rent a hotel and have a saloon night with gambling and that type of thing, but to be able to come on set and feel like they went back to the 1880s or that type of thing.
Could you set it up so that people could actually come in and play a role?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's where Craig and Rob Jensen and the creative side. I'm more of here's the facility. All right. These guys are the creative side and how to make it work.
I would think for tourism, that would be a real good bet. What would that look like, Craig?
It would look okay. So you would
let's say I have a group of people. I want to bring them in and play roles and set up a.
Do you remember when Jenna and I did your bus ride? What was
yes.
it, APCO?
Yes.
Up to the Arizona Sonora Desert Museum.
Yes, I remember that.
We were in period costume. We played the guitar, sang some Western songs on the bus, and then when we got there, did a little bit of entertainment.
Then you shot a few people.
Shot a few people in the kneecap with blanks. Yeah, a small Derringer. Stop.
Sorry.
So imagine that on steroids, right? You and that busload of APCO people. It was APCO, right?
Yeah.
Or Sulphur APCO.
Yeah.
You and that busload of APCO clients come out, or board members, both, drive out to Mescal, get off the bus,
put on costume,
report to wardrobe.
They get a role.
Yep, get a costume, get a role. Depending on different packages offered, depending on how much immersion you want. But okay, go forth and have fun amongst the town. Talk to the cowboys. people.
So they could, as an example, there could be a Tombstone scenario where some of them are cowboys, the others are the Wyatts and the Clantons.
Absolutely. Yeah,
and
different
they
scenarios.
Get into shootouts.
No, they don't shoot each other. No.
The bar scene.
The bar scene.
They could do the bar scene.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You could have robots there like Westworld.
We've actually talked about how this is Westworld without the murders.
We can get some bad actors that are stiff that could be the robots. Right?
Or play the stiffs.
Yeah.
Some of our people, some of the audience may not know the movie Westworld.
Yeah.
So it was a movie where you could go in there and
immersive,
and it was populated by robots.
Yul Brynner was the main.
Yul Brynner,
we're talking about not the series, but the old movie Westworld.
Yeah, and so you could get into gunfights and shoot the robots, and of course the robots got kind of mad, and they started fighting back, shooting the tourists.
Oh man,
we're going to stay away from that scenario.
Yeah, no scenarios.
Why?
liability.
Make a hell of a podcast.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so the corporate, there's a lot of opportunity there. Give me some other examples of what you would do. I mean, obviously, it's a place where people could go and have like an annual meeting or that kind of thing, but
exactly.
maybe broaden that a little bit. Or is that a big part of the business that you want to get?
That's a big part. I mean, they've obviously have some budgets for that to spend some money, and it is usually just a 1 or 2 day type of event, so it fills in our downtime very well. And
Well, there's a lot to that. There's catering and drinks, and you're set up to do that now.
we're set up to bring people in to handle that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we don't have a liquor license yet, but so
Oh, well, I'm not.
You're not going.
yeah. But, we do have a locked cabinet under the bar, though.
Yeah,
off the
I was thinking
Anyway.
to bring my studio audience.
Come on. Well,
but,
go
you know,
go
just like a movie. I mean, they'll bring out their caterers, their food, and everything they need. So there are companies in the area that we can easily bring in to handle those things.
Let's talk a little bit, when you said that about the catering, let's talk a little bit about a very big part of this, and that is the spillover business and the fact that there have been some actors walking the streets of Benson people probably don't even realize. So start with the business side of that, the peripheral effect.
Well, you know, people think that the set makes a lot of money, but we're a very, very, very small percentage of their budget.
You've had to do a sales job on the town of Benson to make them understand they don't have to go to Tucson for good restaurants, for hotels, for that kind of thing, right? I mean,
but at the same time, I don't want to alienate Tucson. And we work
No,
very
no.
closely with Film Tucson, have a great relationship with them. But when we first got here, the attitude was that there was nothing in Benson. Everything had to come out of Tucson. And a lot of the drawback with the New Mexico sets are they're a long way away from their hotels. And, you know, when you're working on set and doing 14, 16-hour days, if you got to drive an hour and a half to your motel, it's not real conducive. So when we pitch Mescal, we really do pitch Benson, that if Benson's a film-friendly town, that within 15 minutes you've got hotels, you got Walmarts, you got your Ace Hardwares, your lumber yards. So
Your
I sell it
restaurants.
as you got all your big city amenities, but it's in a small town atmosphere. You're not going to get stuck in traffic jams.
Yeah, I was going to
like
say
you're
you
in
don't have the
LA.
traffic and the terrible roads.
You know, and we still network and work quite close with Tucson. We don't want to cause that division between the two. But we do sell it. Benson's a film-friendly town. And I tell people it's probably the most film-friendly town in the state because they're all gung-ho to have film come here.
Yes, and let me interject that what he's talking about is more important than people realize. Crew and cast and production people on set, it's priceless to us, to them, to be able to just drive a few minutes.
and they
get
make
in a
up
restaurant, get in a
90% of
hotel.
the people involved, I'm sure.
I'm talking about 100% of the people involved in that 14-hour day on set. If they can drive 15 minutes from Mescal to Benson into the restaurant, hotel, that means a lot. That's really priceless.
Now, can you give me, and this may be a reach, but can you give me an example of some A-list actors or someone that would have been in town that people would have recognized, like Neil McDonough?
Well, I honestly don't know if Neil came into town and hung out. He's a family man. I think he probably went back to his hotel room, wherever that was, and called his family.
Well, his family came out. His wife
they?
was
Oh, I didn't know that.
a producer.
Oh, huh.
She was there for quite a while. They brought
Okay.
the kids out, and I might add, they're very nice, friendly. The kids were yes sir, no sir, shake hands.
Nice.
Very well brought up.
Nice.
They loved Southern Arizona. The kids
Yeah.
wanted.
Well, what's not to love?
I had conversations with them where they wanted to move here.
Bring him.
you
Sure.
know? And so they did go out on their off days, and they would. And I don't know specifically where the McDonoughs went, but a lot of the actors they go to Bisbee, and they go to Tombstone.
Karchner Caverns.
They go to Karchner Caverns. Or they recently they go to Page's Palace down the road, or 80 Proof right next door.
Yeah.
And we do have literature that we pass out to. You know, where do you want to go see in Southern Arizona?
Hey, do me a favor. If you ever get anyone in that, you know, is head of a production company or maybe an A-list actor, tell them there's a actor-friendly podcast they can do.
Absolutely.
I'm serious.
Yeah,
that would be
yeah.
that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
You bet.
Well, we just I did pitch you, but the time wasn't right. We just had a music video with a fellow named Chancey Williams, and He was a rodeo star that turned country western.
Okay, I know.
Very big in the rodeo.
Know who you're
And,
talking about.
So he was in a movie. It was his first movie last year, and we came out and had a little bit of a premiere of some of the scenes that he was in. And then the next day, he shot a music video. And I did try to introduce the podcast and that type of thing, but their time is short.
Oh, that's okay. I understand that. One of these days, I might get lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, one of these days, and that's what we're all talking about here is, and to circle back to what you said, the upsurge, increase, whatever.
Well, it's been down and up and down and up, and it seems to me maybe not the industry, but Mescal Movie Set's on an arc upwards.
It definitely is. Well, and again, I'll let you address that. I wanted to clarify what I said earlier, that there wasn't an upswing in the general industry. At the moment, that's true. It's regrouping with the new business models. I do anticipate an upswing in the general film industry nationwide, and that's what we're about, is trying to be positioned to get a significant portion of that.
Let me ask you, and I'm going to use a specific example of an up-and-coming studio because I went and saw one of their movies with Kyle, your nephew, my son, yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Young Washington, Angel Guild, Angel Studios.
Yep.
Let me tell you that I went in with not real high expectations. The movie is excellent. It really, have you seen it?
No, but it's getting great reviews.
It is really good. Yeah. And so what I would think that you reach out to these, whoever you have to talk to with studios like that and say, hey, are you aware of Mescal? And, so they have it on their radar. How does that work?
Well, it is a word-of-mouth industry. And so, obviously, anytime anybody's at the set, Neil McDonough, William Shockley, and a lot of the people that both act and produce and such, you try to get their contact information, obviously.
Yeah.
And you don't pester them, but you make sure you keep your name in front of them. The fact that we've got makeup and wardrobe now, you make sure they know about that. Bathrooms, and as we make improvements, you send out little updates to them and that type of thing. And you just want to keep our set in their mind so that if they do another Western, that we're under consideration.
And here's a good example. Bailey Chase from Longmire, he was the star of Farhaven, filmed out there, and he loved it. And he's now in a whole new series. He's actively working. At some point, I wouldn't be surprised to see him show up at Mescal because of the experience he had there. Mm-hmm. So, like Mark said, very much word of mouth. There's not that many locations in the Southwest. There's nothing like Mescal, and there's not that many locations that have what Mescal has.
Well, with Mescal, you've got that beautiful surrounding countryside.
That's part of it.
Yeah, very cool.
We just have to make sure we protect it, though. And when that ranch came up that was for sale around Mescal, the Karchners jumped on it, and it wasn't an easy purchase for them, and they had to get rid of some assets to be able to pick that up and such. But it shows to me that they have a long-term commitment to making Mescal work, because now we control that land around there on mostly cattle lease, and they run their cattle on it and such. So that provides us some insulation.
You've mentioned the Karchners several times. There's a couple of different branches of the Karchners. Who are the principals here?
It's Jake and JJ Karchner.
Okay.
Well,
let's give them credit for what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Huge credit.
Absolutely.
Huge. It's priceless what they're doing.
And they're not making money on this. I mean, this is
I wouldn't think so.
This is a money pit. I mean, but it makes my job
easier. It's like a boat.
Yeah, it makes my job easier because it's not like I've got this quota every month, or I've got to meet, these types of numbers, or they're relying on income from the set.
Well, I'm getting the feel from you guys that doesn't have to be done. This is organic. It'll happen.
That's actually a good way to put it, because it's right now it's a labor of love, but of course the whole idea is that it is going to upswing Mescal and the industry and together. And I do see that happening. The question is, how long?
Yeah.
When?
And in our eyes, we're staying out of debt.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, that's huge.
Yeah. We can go out and get $1 million loan and get everything fixed up in a hurry. But in this business, there's no guarantee of what. I mean, I'm anticipating a busy fall. Okay, but I only have one contract signed at this point. Contracts don't get signed until about 30 days before the actual event happens. So
Well, I know you can't talk about a lot of this stuff in advance, but keep in mind that when you can, let me know
Sure.
when you can talk about it, and we'll have you back to talk about, hey, this production's upcoming. I was told, your contract allows you to promote it. Let's do that.
absolutely.
Yeah, that would be great.
Because this is such a vibrant and, growing industry. So how long do you guys think we've been talking?
I have not a clue.
45 minutes.
Yeah.
What? Really?
Yeah, already.
Wow.
So let's kind of wrap this up, and you guys give me an idea of where you want to go. How do you want to wrap this up, Craig?
I want to give a shout out to Dave Gowan, the senator from Sierra Vista, who ramrodded these the current tax incentive program.
Go into that. That went into effect.
2022 is when he started pushing that. Well, actually, in fact, in 23.
Well, regardless.
Regardless, Senator Dave Gowan from Sierra Vista. I do want to shout out to him because this was a real road to get these tax incentives put back into
That are in
place,
place.
and much in a much more effective and auditable.
What are some of those tax
fashion.
incentives so somebody can show up?
Well, it's Mark did a perfect example of a rebate going into Ace Hardware. You buy the bucket of paint, you get $2 back. It's simple in concept, and it's an incentive to get the production companies to come here, and they get refundable tax credits up to a certain point. But they have to spend a significant amount of money, hire locals, et cetera, to get these tax rebates. So overall, it's a credit for the state as far as taxes and income go.
Well, Mark,
It's an incentive.
Give me an example how that works.
Our incentive runs about 15 to 20, possibly 22%. And what affects that is how much is done pre and post production, not only filming within the state, and what the size of their budget is. And so they've got paperwork to fill out and all that type of stuff and send it in to get their incentive back. Now, our incentive is not as aggressive. New Mexico is closer to the range of about 35%. Georgia, Louisiana also have very aggressive incentives. I almost think reading and researching that they're paying too much. I don't think the payback is quite as strong at that. And I think down the road, not in the near future, those incentives will be coming down. I think once they run those for a while and they start seeing that
You get the business, base of business built.
Yeah, I think the healthiest incentive is around 20%, is my opinion. To be competitive, though, with the other states, that number needs to come up in Arizona. And the way that Gowan has that set up from my conversations with him is that can go up without going to vote on the Senate or the House floor and such, but we have to show progress. We have to show that it is bringing.
Well, I know you're working hard at that. And the Mescal Movie Set, let's end on this note, wouldn't exist without its volunteers.
Absolutely.
So tell me about the volunteers and how that works.
Yeah, we've got about 50 volunteers that come in, and a lot of these guys and gals will come in with sweat equity. A lot of them like to just be carpenters and climb around and fix up these buildings, and those are the unseen people that people don't realize that they're there 2-3 days a week and fixing boardwalks and windows and that type of thing. And they have a self-claimed monitor that they're the angry beavers because they chew through a lot of wood and such. And then you have other people that come in and are historians that take the tours around or work the front gate when we have tours and such. So these people come in and they just have a dedication to help this set grow and get back on its feet and become a viable film set. And because we're a nonprofit and because there's so much money that has to go into renovation, the volunteers are the key to keep that place open.
And some of them show up in their own beautifully done period costumes. It's
yeah.
great. Angry beavers in Western clothes.
I actually saw that.
Did you?
We were there for a chamber event, if you recall.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a lady there, and I asked her if she was, what she was doing. She goes, "Well, I just like to dress like this and show up."
Yeah, we do want them to come and work though. we first and you know, when we first got in there, we had a lot of actors volunteer, but the actors just wanted to sit and look good, you know. And we need people to pull nails, and not all the actors. I'm not.
Yeah, no, I know.
But you know, we need people that want to come in and put some sweat equity wherever their talents are.
Okay. All right. Well, I've been putting the your website up on occasionally during this podcast. I think we'll wrap it up.
All right.
What do
Sounds
you
good.
guys think? When are we going to have you back?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, what, 10 o'clock again?
Yeah, sounds good. I'll be sober this time.
And we can think up a lot of new lies that we can talk about.
No,
No,
seriously.
seriously, absolutely. Mark will take you up on that because you're more obviously you're at Mescal, you know. But when
Well-
you get an opportunity to bring somebody in, and I would love to come back.
Yeah, I think it would be fun to bring a production in.
Well,
and
the
have a
audience is
producer
growing.
or actor. Or,
Yeah, I would love to have that. Bring in someone, and by then, I don't want to give away too much. We're moving into a bigger space so that we have more room for all 4 mics. It's going to be a nice layout. But yeah, I'd like to have you back to talk about that
Sure.
whenever
do an
you
update.
can.
Do an
Do an update. Just keep me in mind.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
All right. Very good.
Thanks, brother.
Yep.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Ladies and
been fun.
gentlemen,
Good night, John Boy.
all right, I'm going back to you. On your right, Craig Hensley, my brother, Craig, and on your left, Mark Sankey, director of
Media and marketing.
for Mescal Movie Set. All right, now I'm going to go on camera here and say so long. Catch you next time.